thumbs up.
We gonna kill every last one of them.
Hi, it's Paul from Paul's World of Movies, and today we're looking at a little thriller horror called Send Help that was only released just last on Thursday, and it stars Rachel McAdams and Dylan O'Brien. And this is an interesting film for several reasons. The one being that the storyline is basically that Rachel McAdams is great in the office doing what she does, but she's a bit of a wallflower and not a glamorous employee by any means. And she's looking forward to being promoted to the deputy manager's position by her manager, the owner of the CEO, who's declared that he will promote her any day. Now that's great, so she's looking forward to that. And then unexpectedly the CEO dies, and the son, played by Dylan O'Brien, takes over as the CEO. So then he doesn't like Rachel McAdams because she's not gorgeous and dresses sexy and all this sort of stuff. So he kind of undermines her and takes the mick out of her, and it's quite cruel to her, quite frankly. And anyway, in order to sort of appease her a little bit, basically to set her up to fail, he offers her to come with them to a trip in the corporate plane and see what she could do with this problem they've got. Now, she is very good at what she does, so he is maybe he's a little undecided about where he's going to place her, but he's actually gives her job to a friend of his because he plays golf with him, and he's only been with the company 5 minutes, so to speak. And of course that upsets Rachel, who's been there for 7 years, patiently waiting in the wings for this promotion. Right, so they get on this plane, and I'm not spoiling anything by saying this, but they get on this plane, and I think it gets struck by lightning. It's not quite clear what happens, but I'm pretty sure it does. Next thing you know, there's a big hole in the plane, and the hot plane's crashing down. Now, crashes into the sea, and there's only 2 survivors. And by chance, it happens to be Rachel McAdams, who plays Linda, and Dylan O'Brien, who plays the CEO. Now, Rachel has always wanted to be on the TV show, which I think it's worldwide, Survivor. So she's been a bit of a fan for years, and so that's a sort of a side goal from what she's doing career-wise. And of course, when they crash onto what appears to be, and certainly seems, a desert island. And so she's there moving things around, building stuff, and getting ready to look after herself. And the CEO has hurt his leg and is passed out. So she drags him over to one side and leaves him in the shade, looks after him, and he doesn't come around for about a day and a half. Now, immediately he comes around, he's gutted that no one survived apart from him and Linda. And so he's decides, oh, well, I'm the boss, so I could order you around and tell you what to do. And because he can't walk at this stage because he's hurt his leg, so he's in no position to be barking orders. And when he tries to do this, Rachel just gets up and leaves him on his own. And then he suddenly realizes, whether I like it or not, I need Linda to stay alive and to keep going. So that's where the sort of battle lines, if you want to call it, are drawn. So so from then on, the film starts to move on. Well, almost from there anyway. So this is more like a normal type of film. Whenever someone crashes in a plane and lands up on an island, they always do the old foraging for food, build a hut, put it on the beach, try to find some water, get used to eating raw stuff or making a fire, all that sort of stuff. And that's exactly what happens here. But Rachel's been watching this on the TV, and she knows how to do everything. She's pretty amazing in this. And our CEO is not at all sort of clear on what to do. So he's barking orders that make no sense, quite frankly. So she ignores him, and as mentioned. Now, at some point, they feel they need to work together in order for them to try to get off this island. Now, the one interesting issue here is Linda, is not actually keen to leave. She's quite happy on this island, foraging for food and doing stuff. And so she's quite happy with her life as it is. She's not got the job she wanted. No one likes her or seems to respect her in her job. And so she says, well, I'll just sit here. I'm quite happy with this, and I'm on my own almost, and life's grand. So, but the CEO is dead. It's like, what? No, we can't do this. And so he's wanting to get off. Anyway, so he does the old help sign, and he wants a big smokestack so that he can show it to planes and stuff. But because they're quite isolated, nothing comes by. And then, anyway, so after this, there's some issues around what happens next. And this is when the third act of the film really kicks in. Now, I'm not going to tell you too much about it, except that it's really out there in a positive way. So you've got the confrontation at the start in the office. You've got the accident. You've got the planning sort of together to make a home where they are, and then the need to get off the island. And that's, like I say, the crux of the matter. That's where it is. They have different views about what should happen there. And so they're kind of in confrontation. That is where it all kicks off. And the two of them come up with certain things to do. Now, I'm going to give it away if I say too much more than that. But what I tell you about this film is, it's made by, directed by, Sam Raimi. Now, Sam Raimi is famous for horror films, and in particular, Evil Dead, those sort of movies. And so it's not going to be a straightforward thriller type film. It's going to be something special. But this is a little bit different for Sam Raimi. It's not just all horror and gore. There is a little bit of that in there. But it's not what he normally does. That makes it far more interesting. The other interesting points are Dylan as the CEO. I've only ever seen him as a good guy in movies. So he's a nasty piece of work, and a vicious little toe rag. And that's interesting to see him like that. And Rachel McAdams, bless her, I've only really seen her as the victim in everything that she's been in. And she starts off, sure enough, as the victim in this one. But then they both flip. So Dylan O'Brien is the nasty piece of work, and Rachel McAdams really becomes nasty. And I love this. I just adore this, that she's so aggressive, and there's a really dark side to this girl. And all of a sudden, the character, Dylan O'Brien's character, just is sort of freaking out about, geez, I've got real competition here. This is not fun. I'm not in charge. I'm out of my depth. I don't know what's going on. This is a guy who's been spoon-fed everything, given everything he wants, and even became CEO because he was next in line. Not because he earned it, just because of next in line. Whereas Rachel is the other opposite. She's worked for everything she's ever got, and she's furious that she's been sidestepped again. And this is where it really gets out of hand in a good way, in a violent way, but not outrageously violent. Now, with this film, you've got to see this. Honestly, I just love it. That Rachel is definitely the star of this film. Sorry, Dylan, but she is definitely the star. From the moment, in my eyes, from the moment she wakes up on the beach to the end of the movie, it's her film. She is superb. And another big thing I like about actresses in films is when they're not afraid to get down and dirty, as I put it. which is they just get messy. Their hair's all over the place. They look filthy. They're covered in blood and all that sort of stuff. And that's becoming far more common these days. It's always been acceptable, but it's become far more common. In the old days, people would you wouldn't mark a woman. I mean, even as far, say, 20 years ago, if someone had been in a car crash, they'd come out with a little smudgy mark on their cheek and that would be it. Whereas now they're all covered in blood and they look a mess. Their hair's all over the place. And I love it that actresses who are really beautiful in most cases are quite happy to do this, to make themselves look, well, not ugly, but so messy. And Rachel's not afraid of this at all. She's just awesome. And don't get me wrong, Dylan's good as well. He's very good as well. It's just that I think Rachel was such a diverse change from what we normally see her in that it's incredible. It's like another person completely. Anyway, that's my thoughts on that. And I just want to say that, it really makes this film come alive when Rachel turns to be this more self-assured and vicious person. So now, would I recommend this film? Absolutely. I just adored it. It was far better than I thought it was going to be. I was a bit concerned at one point when you go through the initial part of the landing on the beach and building a tent and a camp and things. That was all very mundane, very seen it before, done it before, all that sort of stuff. But then when that third act comes on, well worth it. It's worth the admission for that third act, honestly. It's so good. I gave it a 7 out of 10, and that's not to say that it's not good, because it is a very good film. It's not the best film ever, but it's very good, well worth seeing. Certainly recommend you go see it on the big screen, and enjoy. It's got the hallmarks of Sam Raimi in certain areas, which I won't elaborate on, because again that might spoil the story a little. Bruce Campbell turns up in it somewhere. I've seen him on the credit list as Dylan O'Brien's father, as the CEO before he dies. I'll be honest, I didn't notice him in it. Maybe it was a photo or some words or whatever. I didn't notice. But hey, if Sam Raimi directs it, Bruce Campbell's going to be there somewhere, and sure enough, he is in this. It's a great little movie. Like I say, I would highly recommend it. And don't miss this while it's out in the cinema. It's good fun, great, enjoyable movie. A few little scary moments and not jump scares, but a couple of things that you're not really expecting. So that's cool. So definitely look this up and enjoy it. And I'll see you at the movies.
See you later.